This marks our third year, the festival's third year of working with National Poetry Out Loud, a national recitation contest program. It's amazing. 317,000 high school students from across the country participate. Now, it's not just, get up and say a poem. These people really work. And the purpose of this, as set out by the foundation, is not only to master public speaking, but to build self-confidence and to learn about our own heritage. 317,000 students participating, learning about their heritage, building their self-confidence, competing until 52 state champions are selected, because this is not only run by it is run by the National Poetry Foundation, but also the National Endowment for the Arts participates, and U.S. state arts agencies from all over the country, obviously 52 of them. They make it possible, but it is the Poetry Foundation who has made it possible for the national champion to be here today to tell and recite and give his poetry to you. Thank you, National Poetry Foundation, and particularly Justine Haka, who is here representing the Poetry Foundation. All right. I don't know where Justine is. Okay. Now, these students learn in this contest. It is a contest of reciting poetry made or created by other people, written by other people. But this year, added to that, has been also poetry created by yourself. But our national champion is going to come up first and give two of his award-winning, national award-winning recitations, and he will tell you about them. Please welcome from Virginia Beach, Virginia, the national champion, Ahkei Togun.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As she said, I'll be doing two of my award-winning poems for you first. The first one will be called Bereavement by William Lyle Bowes. Whose was that gentle voice, that whispering sweet, promised me thought long days of bliss sincere? Soothing, it stole on my deluded ear, most like soft music that might sometimes cheat thoughts dark and drooping. 'Twas the voice of hope, of love and social scenes it seemed to speak, of truth, of friendship, of affection meek, that old poor friend might to life's downward slope lead us in peace and bless our latest hours. Ah me, the prospect saddened as she sung. Loud on my startled ear the death bell rung. Chill darkness wrapped the pleasurable bowers, whilst horror, pointing to yon breathless clay, no peace be thine, exclaimed. Away, away. Thank you. This one is a little bit more light. That's why I started off with that one. But this one is one of my favorites to do. It's one of the first ones I've ever done with Poetry Out Loud. And it's called Football by Lewis Jenkins. I take the snap from the center, fake to the right, fade back. I've got protection. I got a receiver open downfield. What the hell is this? This isn't a football. It's a shoe. A man's brown leather Oxford. A cousin to a football, maybe. The same skin, but not the same. A thing made for the earth, not the air. You see, I realize that this is a world where anything is possible. And I understand also that one often has to make do with what one has. I have eaten pancakes, for instance, with that clear corn syrup on them, because there was no maple syrup. And they weren't very good. Well, anyway, this is different. My man downfield is waving his arms. One has certain responsibilities. One has to make choices. This isn't right, and I'm not going to throw it. Thank you.
Wow. That was really good. I'm blown away.
Thank you.
So, Ahkei, in addition to people being here today, there are a lot of people listening from around the country, some of them high school students. Was this the first time you participated in this competition?
This year, my senior year, well, last year, my senior year, no, it was not my first time participating. I started off participating my freshman year. I skipped my sophomore year, and then I went back into it my junior year, and of course, ended up winning my senior year.
Do you feel fully confident when you get up on stage? And do you just like, oh, this is great, I'm just going to go do some poetry?
You have to feel that confidence. If you don't feel that confidence, it's almost as if you can't completely be yourself. It's almost as if you can't completely say the poem how it's supposed to be said if you lack that confidence. So you have to feel that confidence so that the audience can understand what you're trying to say and what the poem means and things like that.
Do you have any particular ritual that you do backstage before you get up?
I have a couple. I listen to a song that really helps me get focused, and I pray a lot. I pray. Every time I feel my nervousness taking over, I start to pray. I'm like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. I need this gone. And I also, I kind of dedicate my performances to all of my family, so I take the time to do that, and I just kind of like take one by one. I do this for you, I do this for you, I do this for you. And I always do that before I perform because I point up to my granny.
Well, it's fun sharing a mic with you, I have to say. Well, one of your biggest supporters is here, your mother, Dio Greenway. And I did learn she is a financial fraud investigator, correct?
Yes.
So just be careful out there, y'all. And also a big supporter. Is there anyone else that you have found has been particularly supportive to you that you'd like to shout out a thanks?
I think everyone along the way, specific names, teachers as far as my teacher, my English teachers, Miss Tuckerman, Miss Free, back in my freshman year. I can go on and on, but I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported me, especially my family, my dad, and everyone. I think everyone has just seen the passion, the talent, and has just said, I'm going to hop on board with you, and I'm going to be right there with you. And it's just pushed me as far as I've come. So I want to say thank you to everyone. I don't want to throw out any specific names or anything like that, but definitely want to give a thanks to God as well, because I wouldn't be this far without him.
And you probably know this by now, but you may not have known that probably even before you got into poetry out loud, you had a big supporter in a fine slam poet artist who happens to be president and executive director of the International Storytelling Center, Karen Flip Singh Sarah. Karen is a wonderful poet, and he also introduced you to me and me to you. And Karen is here. Not only is Karen here, but his predecessor, Jimmy Neal Smith, who founded the National Storytelling Festival, are here. I'd love both of them to stand up, if you wouldn't mind. And Dio, if you would stand up, too. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then if you're willing, and you told me you were willing, I would love it if you would do one of your own compositions. And, and by the way, in addition to reciting poetry, you're actually a spoken word artist. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And there is a difference, a bit of a difference.
Definitely
Is that right?
Definitely.
Would you speak to that for just a sec? Or
Yes,
okay.
yes. I think one of the biggest differences between spoken word and poetry, spoken word has a different flow to it. It's a little bit broken off from the stanzas and things that you're used to when it comes to poetry. Spoken word, a lot of times, it can be about anything just like poetry, but a lot of times it's a lot more, I don't want to say powerful, it's a lot more powerful because poetry is powerful as well, but you find that spoken word is one of those things where you find it in slams and things like that. So I think spoken word is just one of those things where you want to break away from having to rhyme all the time or the stanzas, like I said, and just like free for all it kind of sort of.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Now, by request of me, and I think everyone here, I've asked Ahkei if he would do one of his own compositions, which he is going to do. And if you would just say, before you begin, if you would, what is one reason you wrote this particular piece? Okay. Once again, Ahkei Togun.
Thank you. This piece, I wrote this piece after I had got through a rough time in my life. I wrote it basically about the overcomes that I had to do, like the barricades that were in my way that I had to break through and the things that I had to get through and how I had to rearrange what my reality looked like. So I named it Reality Check. Back to life, back to reality, back to life, back to reality, back to life, back to reality. A reminder placed in the form of musicality. Young, black, and broken, that was me. Hidden behind music notes and acting scenes, I had a lot of negative thoughts locked up behind the bars of my brain cells. I let the prisoner set free, and now you hear the bars of my brain cells. And when the pain fails, the happiness comes through. You smile a little, learn some things, and then you become you. You send your blessings, pray a little, and then you become new. I was recreated, reincarnated into something special, something that'll change the world with the touch of a hand, or maybe with the words that I speak through this microphone stand. See, I'm not just some ordinary man. I'm a painted picture. Wait a minute, let me paint the picture. I'm your favorite Instagram photo. After you take off the tainted filter, walking into my new life while the old me becomes a fainted figure. I had to let go of the groups filled with hostile guys and fill my soul with gospel vibes. And now if you want to sing How Great Is My God, I might just sing it with you because I am free. The guy that you see black and bold, I am he. Yes, I am me. See, I am the inspiration to make you want to go and change the nation. I am the motivation to make you want to go and end the altercation. I am the dream that makes you believe. I am the high that makes you sit down that joint and forget about weed, but trust and believe. I'm not perfect. That's one thing I need you to receive. See, I'm the shooter and the victim in the same crime. I'm the preacher and the sinner at the same time. I'm the loser and the winner in the same line. You see, that's pain and happiness in the same rhyme. I'm the escapist of an insane mind. I cried a little, prayed a lot, and became fine. The hardest part, if you ask me, was getting rid of the past me. I had to rearrange my mentality to remain sane, to ensure that my reality didn't remain the same. And now I am free. The guy that you see black and bold, I am he. Yes, I am me. Thank you.